now we're in the stage of such advanced technology and connectedness through the internet and social media and all of that, that we could go either one of two ways, It's like we can either go down the route of like, yes, we're creating networks and all the positive stuff is being spread and we can change the world together, or the wrong message goes down and we go through this like completely one-track mind thought process and things just go downhill, which is the danger of social media and things. And I think that's like, it's definitely evident with during this pandemic, like the way people have used social media. Some ways it's been such a positive thing because people have figured it out. They don't need to do these long commutes and they can communicate like we are now across the world in a perfectly sound way. But in other ways, it's kind of led to this, this whole cult of celebrity thing was something that at the beginning of all this was kind of crazy, this whole idea of these celebrities in the mansions trying to tell everyone how to live their lives, and it was like just
half of them have never actually experienced a real life anyway. Like, so I don't really know how well they can actually associate to a real life person when you essentially have. Some of them may have experienced different things, but like you can't sit there in a multi-billion-dollar mansion and start telling people in India how they should live their life. It's like you don't really have the choice of social exclusion or like isolation in certain different countries and different cultures. It just doesn't exist. Like they're not, and that also has its benefits. They get to spend more time with their family. They have their relatives and their friends close by them, and they know exactly what they're going through, like on a day-to-day basis, both socially, emotionally, everything, rather than being isolated in a near permanent existence because you're scared to go outside and deal with society because you get hassled by them because you're a celebrity.
That's
it's
good.
Quite interesting, isn't it?
I mean, that is the perspective of having to deal with that as well is a different.
And looking at the world through other people's eyes,
100%.
And actually not just looking at it and then judging it, but properly appreciating it and then trying to assist, not forceful, like, or telling people that they're wrong, by doing this. And it's like, or what about this? Let's have a constructive conversation about it and actually have a conversation, not a dictatorship.
100, I mean, that's it. That's the way it's, especially, I guess, with I don't want to get into politics, but that's the way it kind of seems, the further end of this political spectrum we've kind of made up of left and right, the more of a dictatorship it becomes. It doesn't matter if you're acting on the side of like, the left or right, it just seems like a place to control people.
Well, same environment becomes political, They say, oh, climate change is a political thing. And you're like, no, it's not.
No.
At all. It's a global problem. And that's about it. Politics is supposed to be the way that we deal with that problem.
Deal with it, exactly.
No different to marine pollution, looking after coral reefs, pretty much any conservational based project always tries to get turned into a political thing, and it's like it's not. You just want to use it in order to get votes, because if you think a whole bunch of people care about it and you say that you like it,
that'll get you power.
It's quite a childish game when you start to look at it and break it all down into that kind of aspect. becomes like being back in a primary school schoolyard. Like,
yeah,
you know, if you've got the best lunch and you're willing to share it, then other people are going to say that you're the best person ever.
Yeah, it's the sweet shop owner versus the doctor kind of. I was watching a thing about Socrates. He's a philosopher, like the kind of first Greek philosopher, and he talks about the dangers of democracy in the way that if you're not careful and you don't look after the educational system behind the democracy, you're going to get people that are attracted to the sweets, not the actual hard truths. And like say the doctor would be trying to protect you from, you know, the doctor's got to do some, you know, tell you some nasty things, but it's to heal the problem. Whereas the sweet shop owner is like, I'm just going to make you feel good no matter what, you know, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, eh? Like, I find the most interesting part, like, about it all is like humans. We're pretty much the only species on this planet that has a conscious choice.
Yeah.
To destroy life or to nurture it, like, you know, and not just on a minor scale, like on now with our technological developments, it's on a major scale. Like, you know, we have a conscious choice to wipe out an entire ecosystem, not just one species. Like, and it's a conscious choice. Like, it's one that people are aware of. Like, and you know, like, you can either turn the keys of the bulldozer and clear a farm paddock and put a whole bunch of seeds in there and regrow a whole forest, or you can bulldoze it down. You know, like, you can take every single fish out of an ecosystem with the click of a button, like, just
so easily.
You know? Or you can slowly try to rehabilitate a damaged area, or, you know, and it is a conscious choice. There's no other species on this planet that has that conscious choice.
It's we are the only ones capable of rational thinking, which unfortunately it's something we need to like nurture, you know.
But sometimes you feel like that power probably should be gifted to another species.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting.
I think, like a coral.
But, although when you see them competing with each other, they can be pretty brutal in fast forward, eh?
Yeah, that's it. They are. I put out a post today about that. You know, the battlefields of a coral reef. You know,
This place,
yeah.
I remember the David Attenborough footage that he put out on the it would have been Blue Planet, like one of the first Blue Planets that he did, the coral reef segment.
Yeah.
It was like a fast forwarded one of like their battles at night time.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning and vicious at the same time, you know, like, and I think that changed a lot of people's world, you know. They were just like, isn't that just like a colourful rock?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, hang on, it's actually like a living organism, you know, and a few of them, like, they're all actually different and they need all these different things to actually survive. They're like, wow, I thought it was just a colourful rock.
Yeah, and that up until probably Darwin, that was the way it was looked at, you know. I read some interesting explorer like diaries from the Maldives. There's a series, I forget the name of the explorers, but they, you know, describing coral reefs, and it is just sharp rocks. You know, and then you can see like another explorer comes like 100 years later, and there's a slightly different description. And so there has been a little bit of a change. It's fascinating to kind of read that stuff and understand our perception of coral reefs. And the guy Paul Muir, he's a coral taxonomist, and I mean he described corals to me like in the best way, which is that they are part animal, part vegetable, part mineral. You know, and there's the animal with the tentacles and the gut that feeds by itself, the algae, the zooks that live inside the tissues that provide it with a lot of energy to build that mineral skeleton, you know. And
Mm.
like when you start to think about how amazing these animals are, it becomes
Mm.
hard not to want to protect them as much as you can.